Well, hello. I just wanted to pop on here because I've had a lot of questions lately about anxiety and stress, and there's so much that's going on in the world. And especially with the whole, can I leave the house? Can I not leave the house? If I'm vaccinated, do I need to wear a mask? And we're not going to talk about all that stuff. But there is a lot of anxiety that goes on in the world or in our brains and internally for us, about what's safe for us, what's safe for our families, what's safe for our kids and our neighbors. Um, and so it creates a lot of anxiety. So if you didn't have anxiety before, don't be surprised if it's just popped into your brain, and especially the last few months where it's kind of been up and down. And anxiety is a feeling. A lot of people tell me I have this anxious feeling, and it does show up as sensations in our body. However, what makes anxiety last so long or even it get exacerbated is the fact that it comes from our brain. Our brain is telling ourselves stories. It's just as if we're telling ourselves that there's a lion there, and our emotions are reacting to that fear, right? So we want to talk about all this stuff that happens in our brain, all the emotions that we think are happening, but actually they're coming from our brain, all of our emotions. So when we think about that, it's also related to this negative talk. If you have a something bad happens and all of a sudden you're a failure at everything, right? When we do that exacerbated kind of language, exaggerated language, we get into analysis paralysis, right? We can get so anxious that we can't make a decision on anything. So we just kind of feel stuck where we are. And it creates this stress in our bodies, right? The more anxious and the more worried we are about things creates stress in our bodies. And we also have this other cultural thing about hurry up and get there. So not only do we have all this pressure of all these conflicting thoughts in our head, but then we also have this this clock ticking in the back of our brain that's going tick, tickety, tick, tick, tick. I have to hurry up and get this done really, really quick. So, when all of that happens, of course, there's ways to work it out over time. But when people come to me, they just want a tool in the moment. And what I want us to do is give our brains a break, because that's really what we need. Our brain is going into overdrive, worrying about things often that don't even need to be worried about, aren't even really true concerns. They're just other world reality that we're just dreaming of just to keep ourselves worried. So in order to get out of our heads, we want to get into our heart intelligence. Our heart intelligence is related to our body because our feelings show up as sensations in our body. That's truly all they are, just like hunger or thirst. They're the same as anger or shame. It's just that we're a lot more comfortable with hunger and thirst. We know how to fix those, right? We just eat something, we drink something, and we'll feel better. When it comes to anger, shame, grief, it's really the same thing. If we know how to manage them, we don't have to be so scared of them. So we don't have to create all these stories about how to avoid them or what will happen if we do get anxious or we do get angry. Instead, we fall right into, how is it that I'm going to manage this, right? So we can get comfortable with uncomfortable feelings. And the first step is just getting back into our body, right? Stopping all those stories that are happening in our heads. So there's one trick I wanted to share with you today that I do in just about all of my visualizations. So if you've ever done a visualization with me, you'll find this very familiar. But I do a thing called heart-centered breathing. So when I'm getting nervous or angry or charged or triggered, whatever you call it, have a flood of emotions, right? And then what happens is my brain starts explaining it all. So when my brain starts explaining it all, it's going to feed back to my heart and my body. And of course, I'm going to get more and more tense because my brain's like, oh, I'm anxious. What can I be anxious about? What could be it? And then I start going to the worst case scenarios, right? So instead, we're going to stop that whole story making machine that's creating all the emotion and the trigger and the charge. And we're going to go into our bodies. and ground ourselves. And the way that I do this most effectively is with this heart-centered breathing. So you may know this, but this is a good reminder to you to really stop in the middle of your day when you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling charged, when you're feeling exhausted, even to just kind of reground and get back into your body, balance out that energy between the stories you're creating in your head and the feelings that you're having. So, heart centered breathing is when we imagine that we're breathing directly in and out of our heart space. Some people will put their hand on their heart so they remember that the air is coming in and out. For some reason, in my visual, that feels like it's blocking the air from going in and out. So, I often will do something like this so that there's like a tunnel or a funnel for the air to come into. And we're just going to imagine that the air is coming directly into our chest space and directly out of our heart space. So instead of using our noses and our throats, which of course we will be using, if we just imagine that that's happening, that will help us get back into our heart space, back into our body. Just like any rituals that we create in the world usually have some type of sensory part to it. So seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, because those senses get us back into our body. They get us paying attention to our physical body again. And that's important, especially throughout the day when we spend so much time in our brain. So here we go. I say that you can do heart-centered breathing for many minutes or just 15 seconds if that's what you need. So we're probably going to do about 30 seconds-ish. And I also, for my visualizations, you'll know that when we blow out this cloud of love and light. And you can allow that to surround you. If that's a bit much for you, if you're not a visualizer, just doing the heart center breathing is fine too. So that's all we're going to do today. So breathing into your heart center and imagining that the air is coming directly into your chest. And then when you breathe out, you're going to imagine that the air is coming directly out of your chest. And breathing in, you might even feel the expansion of your heart or your heart aura. And breathing out love and light. Breathing in that expansion. Breathing out that love and light. And just continue. And we'll do one more. Breathing in through that heart space. Feeling your heart aura expand, maybe even beyond your chest. And then breathing out that last bit of love and light into the world. And again, you can do this as often or as long as you like, but it's a great way to put your focus back into your body, just like meditation. So meditation will work too. However, this just for those of us who may not be great at meditation, this is a great way to just focus in on one part of our body and get back into our body and kind of give our brain a break, right? Get it off its engines for just a second. So hopefully that was helpful. If you're having struggles, please reach out with anxiety or just getting stuck in your head. There's a lot more tools, of course, to managing anxiety and what's going on for us. This is just one to really help you slow down, stop, and get back into your body. So important. If you have other ways that you get back into your body, I'd love to hear them. And that's it. Reach out if you need support. And I'll see y'all soon next week.